Hello, good day. You are welcome to Prestige Tutors. Today we are looking at job scheduling and sequencing. Scheduling simply means to-do list. What do you want to do? While sequencing is talking about in which order do you want to carry out the task or the job at hand. That is what we want to consider today. Also, there are some things that we need to put in mind in job scheduling and sequencing. Notations and objective functions. Now, we'll be mentioning processing time. We must know what we call processing time. The time it takes to process a particular job. That's what processing time is talking about. While the due date is the date when a job is due to be completed, beyond which it is termed what? Late or tardy. Now, the due date for a job to be completed, when is a particular task or a particular job is due for completion, or when am I supposed to have completed it? That is the due date. Now, if you fail to complete this job at the due date, that means there's a delay in that particular job. And you know, as in operations, for every delay, there's a cost attached to it. For every job that you fail to deliver as at when due, then there's a cost. You may end up losing the customer, or you may end up not getting paid. Another term is what? Waiting time for a job. The time a job has to wait from the commencement of the processing before its processing what starts. That is waiting time. Completion time, the time at which a job is completed. Now, this completion time, we can say was denoted by CT, completion time, while the due date can be denoted with DD. Now, how do we determine if a job is delayed or not? When you compare your due date with the completion time, if the due date is greater than the completion time, then the job is not delayed. While if the due date is lower than the completion time, then we say a job is delayed. For instance, if the due date for a job is 10 days and the completion time for that job is 11 days, then here we say what? The job is delayed. Because you are supposed to have submitted that particular job on the 10th of that particular month, but you are now submitting on the 11th day. That means you delayed it for a day. Now, if it's now on the other way around, if the completion time is 10 and the due date is 12, that means you finish ahead of the due date. There's no delay. Flow time is talking about the length of time from when a job arrives at the shop or workstation or at a work center to when it leaves that job, that shop or workstation. It's just talking about from end to end. When did you start and when did you end? How did it flow? You start from 1 hour, then to the 6th hour, you've completed the job. That means it started from 1 to 6. That is the flow time. The average flow time or mean time. In our question, they may tell us what is average flow time or what is average mean time. It's the same thing, average or mean of a group of jobs is equal to the total flow time for the jobs divided by the number of jobs. If it's going to take you 32 hours to perform the task, the series of jobs that you have in your workstation or at your work center or your workshop, it's going to take you 32 hours to complete everything. That is the flow time, 32 hours. The average flow time will now be the 32 hours divided by the number of jobs that you have to do. It may be 10, it may be 5, it may be 6, it may be even be 4. It depends. Why the mean flow time is talking about what? This is the number of jobs in the batch, the number of jobs. Now, this is talking about the total number that you have. At the end of the completion, what is the total hour? At the end of the completion. Now, sometimes our flow, the mean flow time, which is the average that we are looking at here, this is the flow time. This is the mean flow time, which is the average that we have calculated here. That is the mean flow time, which is the average. Lateness of job. Amount of time the completion of the job exceeds the due date, which I have said here. Completion time compare with what? The due time or the due date, for you to know if the job is actually delayed or not. These are very, very important. The delay is the same thing as what? Tardiness. This is delay. It's the same word for tardiness. How many delay jobs do you have? How many jobs did you delay? How many tardy jobs do you have? What is the total tardiness? So these are the things we are going to discuss, and we'll see an example of how to solve this. You have it in the exam. The question will only ask you, what is the total flow time? What is the average flow time? How many delay jobs do we have? What is the total delay jobs? How many is talking about the number? That means I delay 4 jobs. How many? What is now the total hour of those delay jobs? If I delay a job for 2 hours, another job for 2 hours, another job for 2 hours, that means I delayed 3 jobs for 6 hours, 2 hours each. That is the total tardiness. Total tardiness, 6 hours. Total tardy job, 3 jobs. Now, Mixpan is talking about the length of time between the start of the first job in the group or in the batch and the completion time of the job. This is talking about if you have 5 jobs or tasks to perform. The next one is just telling you what is the length between job 1, which is the first job, to the last job, which is job 5. When did you finish the 5? Job 1 may take 2 hours, job 2 may take 3 hours, job 3 may take 4 hours, job 4 may take 1 hour, while job 5 will take what? 1 hour. The next one is talking about 2 plus 3, which is 5, plus 4, which is 9, plus 1, which is 10, and plus 1 again, which is 11. That means 11 hours, or it can be in days, 11 days. So this is the make span. The length, you can see the length from job 1 to the last job. If you have 10 jobs, when did you finish the 10th one? So that is what make span is talking about. Now that we are done with the notations and the functions, let's go and look at example. Before we look at the example, there's need for us to also look at the priority of sequencing a job. The priority of doing a job, sequencing or priority rules used in scheduling procedures. Now we look at first come, first served. If your priority for getting a job done in your store is first come, first served, that means you are giving priority to the processing of jobs that arrive at the machine first. The machine first, not in shop. Some jobs may get to the shop earlier, but may be delayed before getting to the what? To the machine. They may be delayed maybe because the materials that will be used in working on them, the materials are not ready. Or maybe the machines that will work on them, they are currently working on other jobs. So now they may get to the shop first, but they are yet to get to the machine. Another job may arrive after, and maybe the machine that will work on that job is readily available. That job will get to the machine first, though it didn't get to the shop first, but it will get to the machine first if you are using first come first served. Another thing for first come first serve, it can be first in system, first served. First in system, first served. If this is your priority, that means you are giving priority to the job that got to your shop first. The job that arrived at your shop first, that will be first in system, first served. The system we are referring to here is talking about your shop, your workstation. It's talking about your workshop. So the system that got to the shop first will be given priority. Why the first come first serve is talking about the job that got to the machine first will be given priority to. If your priority is also shortest processing time, which means the job with what? That will minimize your flow time. This is what? Processing the job with the shortest processing time on the machine. If a job is going to take 2 hours, another one is going to take 30 minutes. If your priority is shortest processing time, you give priority to the job with 30 minutes first before the 2-hour job. That is shortest processing time. Why the opposite of shortest processing time is what? Longest processing time. If your priority is to use LPT, longest processing time, you give priority to the job that have what? The longest processing time first, which is the opposite of the SPT. Another priority is when you consider earliest due dates. Priority is given to the processing of that job with earliest due date. Job with the earliest due date will soon be late if priority is not given to it. It will soon be late if you don't give priority to it. Now, that if your priority is the job that will be due on the 10th of the new month. There's another job that will be due on the 1st of that same month. Priority will be given to the job that will be due on the 1st. Because if you don't give priority to it, then it will soon be late. If you give priority to the one that will be due in the later dates, then the one that is due earlier will be late. So if your priority is to give what? To process the job with the earliest due date, you use EDD. Then the first in system first served, as earlier explained, priority is given to processing of the job that arrived in the shop or that was received first from the customer. Not, please note, not the job that got to the machine first. Not the job that got to the machine first. It's very, very important, very, very key. Now, let's consider this example. Now, looking at this, you have 5 jobs, jobs 1 to 5. Look at the processing time. For job 1, the processing time is 5 days, while the due date is 7 days. Look at job 2, 8, processing time is 8 days, due date for collection or for submission to customer is 10 days. You can see that from job 1 to job 5. Now, let's take for instance, if our priority is to do these 5 jobs using EDD, which is earliest due date, to sequence this job, which job will now be due first? Going by the due date, you can see that job 1 with 7 days will be what? The job that will be due first. Let's put it in a sequence. That means we are going to do job 1 first, followed by job 2, because that what? It will be in the next 10 days, job 2. Now look at job 3. We still have 20 days before we deliver this job. Job 4, 18 days. Why job 5, 16 days? That means the 16th will come before job what? Will come before 18 and will come before 20. So that means we are going to build job 5 after job 4, job 2 rather. Then job 4 will be done after job 5, and the last job to be done using EDD is job 3. That means we are going to sequence it in this way. Do job 1 first, followed by job 2, followed by job 5, job 4, then job 3. Now, if our priority is to use SPT, which is the shortest processing time, how do we sequence this job? Now, note, if you are using EDD, you use the due date to what? Do the order. You use the due date to determine the sequence. Every other priority, whether it's SPT, LPT, first in system, first served, first in shop, first served, we are going to use the processing time to determine what? The priority, or to determine what? The order or the sequence in which we are going to do the job. EDD, we are only going to use the due date to determine the sequence, as we have done here. Every other one we are going to use processing time to determine. If you are using SPT, which is the shortest processing time, that means we are considering what? SPT to determine. What is the job with the shortest processing time? This is what? Job 3. That means we are going to finish job 3 in 3 days. Job 3 first. Which other one comes after job 3? We are going to do job 1, which is going to take us 5 days. Then we do job 5, which is going to take us 6 days. Followed by that, we do job 2, which is going to take 8 days. Then the last job in this sequence will be what? Job 4, which is going to take 9 days. That is using SPT. Now, if we are now using LPT, longest processing time, which is the opposite of the shortest processing time, it means that we are going to take it the other way around. That means we are going to do it in job 4 first, followed by job 2, followed by job 5, followed by job 1. Then the last job to be done will be job 3, because we are using the longest processing time. Which job are we going to spend more days on? That will be what? Job 4 first, followed by job 2, job 4, job 2 will be second, then job 5 will be third, then job 1 will be fourth, while job 3 will be the 5th job we are going to do. That's what we have done here, LPT, which is the opposite of our what? SPT. These are the priority. Now, if the priority is first in system, first served, that means the job that goes to the system first, it will be the other way. What? It will still be in job 1 to job 5, because we believe 1 will come before 2, it will come before 3, 3 before 4, 4 before 5. That if you are looking first in system, first served, it will be in the other way of job 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at this order, EDD. I will advise that in exam, since you have gotten the sequence this way, rearrange your table in that order. Job 1, 2, job 5, job 4, and job 3. Please and please, with the corresponding processing time and due date. Please don't interchange the due date and the processing time. Job 1, let the due date and the processing time, let them be what? The same with what we have in the question. Don't say because you are rearranging. Please rearrange properly so that you pick the corresponding processing time and processing what? The due date. Now we have rearranged in that order. All right, we are still following that order. Now, this PT means the processing time, while DD means the due date. Now, this is what? The completion time, while F means what? The flow time. Then T means what? tardy or tardiness, the tardy jobs. Now, how do we determine this? This is as given in the question, the processing time. And I said if it is in days, you express it in days. If it is in time, you express in time. Now, this is what the due date as given in the question. We have only added these last three columns. Column 1, 2, 3, the first three columns, we have them as given in the question. We only introduce the three other columns, which are completion time column, flow time column, and tardy column. Now, here you need to be careful. Completion time, when did you complete job 1? It will be the first hour, because this will be 0 to what? 0 to 5. So that means at the end of the 5th day, you are going to complete job 1. Then for job 2 is going to take how many days now? It's going to take 8 days. So that means for job 2 requires 8 days. It's only going to be done after job 1 has been completed. So you have spent 5 days in job 1. If you add job 2 that will require 8 days, it will be 13, which is 5 plus 8. The 5 is from job 1, the 8 is from job 2. Making what? That means at the end of the 13th day, we will complete job 2. The next job in our priority, EDD, is job 5. Job 5 requires 6 days. So that means after the 13th, we are going to spend another 6 days in doing job 5. That will be 13 plus 6. That's how we arrive at 19. Job 4, which is 9 days, will be what? 19 plus 9, which is 28. The last job in this sequence is what? Job 3, which is going to take 3 days. That will be 28 plus 3. That is what? 31 days. That is the completion time. That is the column, how we arrive at those figures. Then for the flow time, your flow time will follow the pattern of your completion time. That means everything you have in your completion time column is going to be repeated in your what? In your flow time column. That tells you that you need to be careful if there's any error in your completion time column. And since you are going to repeat everything you have in your completion time column in your flow time column, that means you are going to transfer the same error to your flow time column. So be careful. You can see that all that we have in your completion time column is the same thing we are repeating. Now, for the last column, which is the column where we determine if a job is delayed or not, is what? When you compare your completion time with your due date. Look at the completion. For job 1, it was completed on the 5th day. And is going to be due on the 7th day. Can you see any delay there? No. This job was not delayed. That's why we have 0 here. It will be due on the 5th day. On the 7th day, you completed it on the 5th day. You did not delay that job. Meanwhile, job 2 is due for submission on the 10th day. On the 13th day, that means you took additional 3 days to complete the job. That means you delay it for 3 days. The same thing with job 5. The customer is expecting you to deliver the job on the 16th day of that month. You went to him on the 19th day to submit the job. That means he was expecting the job. He didn't get it on the 16th. 17th, he didn't get it. 18th, he didn't get it, and you brought it on the 19th. You delayed the job for what? 3 days. Which is what? 19 taking you 16, which is 3 days. Now, the job 4, can look at the due date, 18th, you submitted on the 28th. You delayed that job for what? For additional 10 days. Job 3 the same way. due on the 20th, you brought it on the last day of that month, the 31st day. That means you delay the job for 11 days. These are what? The delay job. Now, how many delay jobs do you have? We have 4 delay jobs. Because the question will ask you, how many delay jobs do you have? 4 jobs. Now, what is the total tardiness? The total tardiness is talking about 3 plus 3. What will it give you? That will give you 6. Plus 10. That will give you 16. 16 plus 11 will give you 27. That means the total tardiness is what? 27. That means 27 days. You delayed all this job for 27 days. You only delay what? 4 jobs. But the 4 jobs took what? You calculate the days in between there, they are 27 days. Now, they ask for average tardiness. Average. That means the mean tardiness. That means this 27 divided by the number of what? The number of jobs. How many jobs do you have? 5. Please don't divide it by 4. Though you delayed only 4 jobs, but the total jobs given to you is what? 5, because we are looking at average. That means the total over the total number of jobs. 27 divided by 5, not over 4. Don't divide it by 4. Though you delay 4 jobs, but you are giving 5 in total. Now, what is the total flow time? The total flow time will be 5 plus 13 plus 19 plus 28 plus 31. The figure that we have here will be what? The total flow time. The average flow time or the mean flow time will be this total, divide it by what? The total number of jobs, which is what? Divided by 5. That will give you the mean flow time. If they are asking for the make span, that means from the definition, from the first job that gets to this shop to the last job, how many days did you spend it all together? This is what? When did you complete the last job in that batch? The make span will now be what? 31 days. You just pick it from the table. That's why it's good when you arrange it in that what? Order. The last job, when did you finish, which is the 31st day? That will be what? The make span. Total number of tardy jobs, how many? 4 jobs delayed. Total tardiness, addition of those 4 jobs, 27 days. Look at the make span, the 31 days. That means the completion time of the last job determines the what? The make span. The completion time of the last job, not the first, not the second, but the last job. That's it. Look at the mean tardiness. If you say 27 divided by 5, you are going to get 5.4 days. Look at the mean flow time and our flow time. If we get the total flow time, divide it by what? By 5. That will be total flow time over 5. We are going to get what? We are going to get 19.2 days. Now, using SPT, shortest processing time, how do we arrange this? Now, we are now going to consider the processing time to determine the priority it's going to take. Which job has the shortest processing time? That will be this. Followed by which job? So that is job 3, job 1, followed by job 5. The 4th job to be done will be job 2, while the last job will be job 4. So it will be done in order of 3, 1, 5, 2, 4. Can you see? With the corresponding processing time and corresponding due date. Please, this is very, very important. Please ignore this. This is supposed to be SPT. Using SPT. So it will be done in this priority. Let us bring it back to the larger table. You can see now introducing the remaining 3 columns, which is the completion time. This is completion time, flow time, then tardy. You can see. Now let's compare. This is what from 0 plus 3 hours, it will be what? 3. For job 1, after the 3rd day, you have job 1 to do, which will take additional 5 days. That will be 3 plus 5, 8. 8 plus 6, 14. 14 plus 8, 22. 22 plus 9, 31. Now, the total, you are going to repeat this and bring it what? Into your flow time column. That means you are going to repeat it. For the tardiness, how many tardy jobs? Did you delay job 1? The due date is 20. You completed it on the 3rd day. No delay. For job 1, the due date is 7. The completion is 8. You delay it for a day. Why for job 5? The due date is what? 16 days. On the 14th day, you completed that job. No delay. There's a delay of 12 days here and also a delay of 13 days here. How many delay jobs do you have? We have only what? 3 in this case, which is job 1, job 2, and job 4. If they ask for the total tardiness, that will be 26. 1 plus 12, 13. 13 plus 13 will be 13. So that's 26 days. The total flow time, calculate everything you have here. Calculate all that you have here. Add it. The mean of it is what? Divided by what? 5. What is the Mixpan? The last job in this batch. When did you do job 1? When did you complete it? On the 31st day. The Mixpan is 31. Using longest process time, which is the LPT, if that is our priority, which job are we going to do first here? That means which job has the longest processing time. I said LPT is the opposite of SPT. So that means the first job here will be what? Job 4, because it's going to take 9 days. Followed by job 2. Followed by which other job? That's job 5. Then job 1. Job 3 will be the job you are going to do what? Last. So that will be the order. So this way now, we will now introduce the other 3 columns, which is the column for completion time, for flow time, and tardy. Can you see it? That is what? 3, 1, 5, 2, 4. That is the order. 4, 2, 5, 1, 3. The same thing we have been doing. You can look at how many jobs do today. We have 4 delay jobs. The total tardiness, add 7 plus 7 plus 21 plus 11. Total flow time, add everything together, divided by the number of jobs, which is 5. Now look at the Mixpan, is still the same 31 days. So that means whichever priority you use, you are still going to spend 31 days to do that job, the 5 of them. The number of delay jobs may vary depending on the priority you use. You can see under SPT, we didn't have 4 delay jobs, we have only 3. But under LPT, we have 4. Under EDD, we have 4 also. The flow time may not be the same. By the time you add everything together, you get flow time. So that is the priority.